Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate the support of the channel. As always, passives and aggressives. Let's talk. How do you know which is which? When is it time to be passive in this game? When is it time to be aggressive? And how do you know? Well, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you just have to give it a shot and see what happens. You're going to see that on this first game. We're going to give it a shot. I'm going to actually try to talk the team into helping me out, which a good number of them do, and the problem is that the rest of the team doesn't really recognize what is going on. We're going to talk about it as we go, and then I've got an example at the end of being aggressive and seeing my team of the same mind, at least enough of them. So I take, help me take Tehil. Why does everybody misspell that? I do that all the time. For some reason, I can't get the H before the E. It's a typing thing, pretty standard, right? That's kind of a meme. Teh. Must be because of the way the keyboards are set up. Very common. All right, so we're going to push in. I'm in my Progetto 65. I'm going to have 2, maybe 3 shells. Probably just 2 by the time I come around the corner. And pretty common on this map. And chime in, fellas. Let me know. Being very aggressive. I know it can go badly. I absolutely know it can go badly. I also know that if the enemy team pushes hard, we can die. But we got a pretty good group. Centurion, myself, the Leopard, and the TVP. We have some heavies following up. I'm actually not feeling bad about this, but watch what happens. And you can't know. So, like I said, let me know what you think. I'm going to actually get my gun hit here. This is awesome. Bam, immediately the concept hits my gun. But I do get 2 shots of damage, and I eat 2 as well. So that is unfortunate. I've lost a lot of hit points, and usually when you're the first. But look at the swarm they have going on, fellas. They are all in. They are all in. So you might say, maybe don't go there. All right. Yep, that's true. And then let them have the entire hill, and it's a uphill battle, no pun intended, for the rest of the game. I don't know what the right answer is, fellas, but here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. They're pushing hard, and our heavies are back here. We have 4 guys on the hill. They're outnumbering us a little bit. Let's watch how this develops. Comes the bat shot. I was really hoping we could kill him pretty quickly when he kind of gets away. I'm on a reload, so I can't really get any shots there. And I do appreciate that the KR-1 came. He takes some hits. He's going to push around. We have another Centurion, a hacker, and an 803 right there. And they have come at us with a KR, TVP, and then there's a hacker and 430 down low. There's also a Concept 5, but they've pushed everybody. Watch what happens, because the rest of our heavies are going to stack up behind right there. KR-1 takes some hits. I'm trying to get loaded here. Let me get out of the KR-1's way. Let him do some work. Look at this. Boom. All right. First indication we got trouble. They're actually pushing up. They've come up to these rocks. Notice there's no artillery, by the way, which is another thing to watch for on this map. If you're an 803... or a hacker, you need to be down that low part down there, because you can counter their guys pushing up. And then you can support shooting their guys in the back. But our guys are going to sit behind the rocks there. Taschenrat took a lot of time to figure out what he's doing, so he's nowhere near really to fight. The 110E5 is still lollygagging back there. I'm trying to get a sneaky shot. Unfortunately, can't quite get there. And things are going to go downhill pretty quickly right here. I will tell you that for just right now, I thought we kind of had things sorted out. KR-1's in good hit points. I'm okay, but then look at this. The 430 shows up behind us. Because we didn't have anybody push up, now he's able to scooch up behind us. That's what we need to be trying to do. And their Taschenrat is headed up the hill. And it's all over now. I don't even notice the 430 yet. I see the damage coming in. Like, oh, and their hacker's back there. Ah, that's unfortunate. Really didn't matter. All it meant was I get 1 less shot of damage. There's 1 shot of damage, and do I get another one? Probably not. There we go. Yeehaw, and yikes, and whack. Boom, done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guy's dead. Well, I can't move the camera right now, but you can see over here on the corner our dudes stacked up. The Taschenrat, the 110E5, the 803. To be fair, those 2 got there late because they did not push down here. They futzed around up on the cap. Their team did very little to no futzing. There's no futzing going on their team. Their team was all in, aggressive, together, made it happen. I realize that's not easy to do in this game, but pay attention for it because their team was able to do it. They all made a big push. Their guys kept coming around the corner. The KR pushed in. They were able to isolate our decent push, but not enough compared to theirs. And our guys did not counter that in any way. The difference between passive and aggressive. I think most people on this map are used to going to that corner. They'll hope maybe some mediums will get up there and get something done. But most of the time, if they're going to sit on that corner and the other team makes a really aggressive push like this, they're just going to slowly lose the game. They're going to have a hard time. The only counter to us winning, or the only counter to the enemy team's push here, is if they push around that corner stupidly and bleed a bunch of hit points poking around the corner. That is not what happens here. We get absolutely slaughtered. The North has got a few things going on up there, which is fine. You got to have a couple guys in that general area. But I would much prefer if our team sort of noticed what was going on, had come this way more quickly, and maybe pushed down, especially the 803, to kind of counter the object and the concept 5. If they had done that and kept them from pushing up behind us, where they shredded us, we might have been able to hold long enough for the Taschen to get there. There's a lot of might-haves, what-ifs, and etc. My point here is that you have to pay attention to the situation at hand. You can wish on all kinds of stuff. I wish my team had done this or that or the other, or not done this or not done that. But if you're not aggressive and can't follow up in the situation that's at hand, then you're just going to be a passive, and you're going to sit around and let the game happen to you. Again, I'm probably going to get some comments down below. It was a YOLO, yada yada. Look, we had a good force. We got outplayed. The enemy team came in harder. Aggressiveness. They won. Generally in this game, I would say the majority of the time, the more aggressive team wins. The more carefully, I used to call it carefully aggressive. I still like that term. The more carefully aggressive team wins. They sort of saw what was going on. There was nobody really filtering down low to punish them. They kept coming around the corner as much as they could. Their team made a decision early and came hard, so to speak, and crushed us. All right, let me show you kind of an example from the other way where we're aggressive enough and we're able to win it. You know, I get a lot of, I'll call it feedback. I wasn't called pushback. It's not necessarily pushback, it's feedback. Sometimes it's pushback, mostly it's feedback on this subject about being aggressive in this game. And I'm known for playing pretty darn aggressively, and I think, you know, at times that'll catch you out. My point on the aggressiveness thing is your foot should be on the gas. Your default should be power on. And then if you need to slow down, do so. All right. If you need to go more passive, be more careful, then come off the accelerator, pull the throttles back. But you need to have the throttles up and ready. You need to have some good airspeed. You need to have your foot on the pedal so that if you need to go to plaid, you can just stomp on it and off you go. All right. That's at least my opinion. I think you win well more games in this game. You win more matches in this game called World of Tanks by being aggressive than you do by being passive. I don't think there's any question to that. If somebody disagrees, go for it. All right. You know, we've got to define some of that as well. Some people's definition of aggressive in the game is different than others. I am not clearly talking about, or let me be clear about, I'm not talking about just spastic over-aggression YOLO in. Get aggro and die. It does serve a purpose to bring the ridiculous example out just so we don't kind of go in there as the definition. You know, if my assumption and your assumption of the definition is different, then we need to get closer to the definition so we understand what the description is about the game that we're making. All right, anyway. I'm going to pop this guy in the side because he's a pretty tough tank. And I really expected to maybe take one shot of damage. That's a great example. I knew he was there. I saw him. I want to slap this 263 in the side. I'm really hoping he doesn't get two shots into me. That would have sucked. It would have been a bad trade. But that guy's being aggressive. And while I like to play on the one hand, it gives me an opportunity on the other hand. All right? So we'll kind of wait for this dude. We'll see if he wants to do a little side scrapage. Great example right now. I was aggressive at the beginning. It's time to throttle back slightly. I don't want to just drive out in front of the TT-130. I don't want the double barrel gas shootman. I don't want the 263 to square up and start slapping. Let's wait for my tanks to get in position. And that actually works out for me right there. Put another big slap on him. We'll move forward. Again, I'm not YOLOing forward. We're good. G-Sword takes a hit. I'm going to go ahead and reload. One thing that's kind of nice in terms of if you want a tank that forces you to be a little more careful, sometimes the autoloaders will do that. They will sometimes entice you to run out and try to drop a clip, but at the same time, if you're managing your reloads, I have to be careful. And that gives me time to look around. I'm on a reload, like, what's going on? All right, this 263 is doing that. And, oh, geez, that guy just went across. All right, let's wait for him. Maybe he wants to just... Oh, he stopped. Oh, okay. So he's actually behind. What's cool about this is he's actually stopped behind this other building. Right? He didn't come to this corner because there's an opening right there he can be shot through by all of these guys. So he's decided not to make that move. So we sort of trapped him. That's good. I like it. Maybe we can hit this 263. Let's do it. We'll just go in here and slap him on the side. Whack. Nice. I like it. All right, Jagdtiger's making a move. Okay, I like this. I'm noticing, right? I'm starting to sense my team is aggressive. What else do we know about the situation here? There's only 2 or 3 of them here, guys. From what I can tell, there's the TT-130, there's the Skirta, and there's the Centurion, and I can see my overmatch here is getting antsy. They're getting ready. Now, I need to be careful about the 130. We did kill the 263 right there, which is nice. It's also blocking shots, so I can kind of come around the corner and look if I need to. I sort of expected him to show up. He's not there right now, by the way. He's made a move. So we're going to wait. All right, 430's kind of sitting there. That's fine. And I look around. So I call it camera technique. Move your camera around. Pay attention to what's going on around you. I can see guys starting to bunch up. We still have good hit points. We have way more tanks than they do, which means they have either a lot of campers or maybe there's a few hidden in there we're not aware of right now. And I'm thinking about this. I only have 3 shells. Let's go look. All right, he's still there. Okay, fine. Is that guy going to show up? I'm ready for it. Just wanted to see if he was still there. We'll back out. I'm going to hit C and reload. Okay? We still haven't seen that put the pedal down. Now I'm starting to see it. Already hits me, whatever. Those guys are pushing the TT-130. That means he's going to be busy. Let's go get rid of the Centurion. Jagdtiger's pushing. Let's push. If I run into the Skoda, we'll start dealing with him as well. I know I've got a couple what appear to be fairly aggressive players back here. They all came up. They got busy. We got the G-Sword. I can see the 430s moving behind me. Do not see... There's the Skoda. All right, so I noticed the Skoda is all the way back there, and it's time to put the pedal down, fellas. There goes the 430. Got to like it. And you follow this up. All right, we'll ram him. We'll let the 430 take some shots. We'll flap him with the heat. Back out. Turn around. Hit C. Reload time. I have a drive, so I might as well start reloading early. Off we go. Aggression. The whole team saw it. This is also not a case of me saying, if only you are aggressive, then you can get all this stuff done. You got to pay attention to what your team's doing. Help follow up aggression. Unlike the one before, where I think some of my heavies were hanging out a little bit, not getting in there and helping us. The situation here is this team is working together, moving together, and it's looking like pretty much like a rumble stump. So let's go grab hit points. That's the other thing about these accelerated games, where it starts to collapse on the enemy team. You start to see the avalanche at the start. You got to hit your W, and that's part of being aggressive in the game, is learning what these situations look like and being ready for them and having your foot on the pedal. If your foot is always on the brake, you're going to have a hard time accelerating and getting into it. I notice this a lot with people. This really bumps me. I don't know how I missed. Because I hit the ground. Hit the ground. Fantastic. Some people are just so used to not pushing, not being aggressive, sitting back, trying to save hit points, being too careful. Nice. That when it comes time for the accelerator to be pushed, get in there, get some hit points, help clean up the game, they're not ready to hit the ground. That's unfortunate. Probably could have been a little more careful. would have got a shot on that. 2,916 damage. 430 is doing some good work. Unfortunately, he gets killed right here. He does get a slap, I think, on the Jaeger. Yep, he does. And then Artie's going to finish the poor guy off. He's like, yes, let me go get some more hit points. We're good. All good. All right, push up here. We got these guys. And oops. Okay. Unfortunate. Oh, there we go. Let's try to get behind a little bit of this cover. We got decent gun depression. He's trying to back out. Carefully aim into the turretish. Go to the right side that I wasn't aiming at. Great, thank you. Dispersion / RNG. So those are the two examples I wanted to show you. We're going to clean up here. Actually, there's an Artie in this bush. Watch where this guy shows up. Zoom out. I'm just cruising in here, right? It's a great big old Artie. Dude, there's a guy. Okay, let's fix that. And we'll pull. Oh! There's one right there, too. What the? Holy macaroni, I have no freaking vision. That's terrible. Or he's got really good camo. He's going to blap me, too, because it's a 6 or 7 second reload. Gonna hurt. You got me. All right, there we go. And I went from a modest, 2,800, 2,900 damage game. And by being ready to be aggressive, by following up with my team, by playing a tank game and not a camping game, I'm going to crank this thing up to whack. Another 545. You got to like it. And some assist. Well, I always talk about that in game on these kind of aggressive games where you're pushing, getting forward, lighting things up. Get in there, go towards the hit points, go towards the assist, and I cranked it up to 4,706 damage, 1,534 assists. From a modest game to a pretty dang good game. Just by being a little bit aggressive. And paying attention to my team, seeing them start to get that idea, I could see them start to push, and pushing with those guys, being part of the solution, not part of the problem, sitting in the back. I like this one too because I'm driving a TD, and unfortunately in this game, so many people who drive TDs have this idea that a TD is a sniper ambush predator, right? Little easier with this one because it's got some decent armor, kind of makes you, and the gun's kind of wonky, so it sort of wants you to be close. But you've seen it. Plenty of people are going to camp in the back with this tank and not do a whole bunch. I really think aggressive-wise, foot on the throttle, carefully at first. Pay attention so that you can accelerate quickly from there, and if you have to slow down, then do so. Don't go to places in this game with your initial positioning where you're just passive, where your only choice is passive. Because if you're sitting in the back, look at the prototype back there. And I don't know, he might have been supporting the other guys pretty good. Does he have any kills? He does. So he was supporting the other guys back there pretty good. He may have had shots all day long back there. But he's nowhere near the spotting damage. Like, that's a great tank for taking into the town, the prototype. He could have been a real asset in there. Now, maybe he did some good work for the guys in the field, and that's one of the reasons they won. Just because I went to one spot on this map doesn't mean I don't understand other spots need to be covered and could have done good work out there. But that's a pretty accurate, even though it's very slow and has decent armor, the prototype's pretty accurate. Much better to take my I'm going to call it a semi-assault, I think it's actually versatile or whatever, TD, and just bring that support fire into town and pay attention. When we started to push, when we realized we had that advantage, much like the game before, when that enemy team realized they had the advantage and ours wasn't reacting well to it, well, that was it. They got the foot went down on the pedal, throttles went all the way to the forward left quadrant, max AB, and they just ate us alive. And our team did not react. That is more or less how this game is won and lost. Absolutely. All right, let me know what you think down below. That's all I've got. Have a good one. See ya.